Hello friends, good evening. I just wanted to share some of the tips or the ideas or my learning experience with regard to the option selling and how we can improve on this. So I have just jotted down few of the points and I'll just go through one by one. So the first one is that as you can see the heading, basically I am going to talk about the option selling, but if you are doing the option buying, which is majority of the people, then my suggestion is that always do at the money or in the money, but try to avoid in out of the money options or the strike levels, because there the premium melts fast though you are buying at a very cheap rate. So avoid that, because that is mostly not making money. With regard to the option selling, as you know, there is a more probability of winning, though there is unlimited risk, but it requires the large capital. So it is for those characteristics one can go for option selling. I will also suggest that please avoid option selling in the stocks, because most of the time stocks are very volatile and you do not know the trend or the direction. So my suggestion is that you should do the option selling in the index, which is basically Nifty and Bank Nifty. Further to that, I would say that Bank Nifty is very volatile. So if you are a beginner, you can go for option selling in Nifty and you can avoid Bank Nifty. Though with some experience, Bank Nifty makes more money in option selling because the volatility is very high. But I would suggest that once you have got some experience in the Nifty, then you can go for that. Additionally, I would say that for beginners, it is good to go for the monthly expiry options and avoid weekly. Again, I would say that you make more money if you manage in weekly, especially for selling, because the premium melts very fast, because only 5 days week is there for the trading, and which starts from Friday till Thursday. But as you get more experience, probably you can start in weekly, and monthly can be used for hedging. Another point is that you should always keep about 25 to 30% of your capital in cash in the trading account, and this can be used for two purposes. One is basically that due to very high volatility, you might be require more margin because you are selling the options. So this extra money of about 30% will always cater for that. Of course, it cannot be good enough if the market crashes or has gone up substantially, but majority of the time about 30% of the cash availability will cater your option selling premiums if your position size is okay. And this cash can also be used, because if you are not fully invested 100%, then this cash of 30% can also be used to go for the right opportunity and use that money for selling the options when the premiums for the calls and the puts are very high. Next point is about that, though you know, practically and historically and in general, everyone advises that we should put the stop loss. But my suggestion is that as long as you keep enough cash, about 30%, then you need not always put the stop loss, because in most of the time stop loss is hit and you lose money. It is good, especially when you are doing the option buying. At the same time, I would suggest that do not hedge your positions, because this extra cash will cater for those margins, because as soon as you do the hedging, your profit goes down, because you are buying the options to protect your sell options positions. So my suggestion is not to go for hedge and not to go for a stop loss, but it depends on the situation and the volatility at that point of time, and one can check on VIX, which is the volatility index. Next point is that like when you want to sell the options, in case of Nifty I would say that you sell about 500 points far from the support level, and in case of Bank Nifty about 1500 points, which is quite reasonably good levels and should not be hit and should not go beyond that. But if you sell of very close levels to the spot, then the risk is very high. Though here you will get the less premium, but you are safe and that is reasonably good return if the premiums are quite good with the high volatility index. And the last point I want to say is that try to do the option selling for not the current month but for the next month, like we are in November now. So try to do the option selling for December or maybe even for January, because number one, you will get very high premiums, so your earnings is very high till if you really hold it till the about 2 weeks before the expiry. Or the second point is that you get enough time to adjust for volatility, so you can exit if you get good profits because of the melting of the premiums, or you can continue holding. So friends, these are just my suggestions, but you should take your utmost care and go for option selling, because as I mentioned in the very beginning, this has very unlimited risk but high probability of win, but has to be traded very cautiously. Thank you very much and take care.